We have four ACC teams headed to Omaha. NC State wins. I'm Monty Taylor. I'm going to be joined by Micah, Nick, Grayson as they all arrive. This is a bit of an impromptu special. So I'm just texting Micah back now. Big night for the Wolfpack. The Super Smash Brothers come through. We have 4 teams going to Omaha of our original 8 teams that made the tournament. That's a 50% success rate. Micah is here. Micah, welcome. He is wearing the SEC Can Kiss My ACC shirt. He just posted the video on the on the Twitter, on the X. Micah, what a game for the Wolfpack.
Pitching prevails, doesn't it?
Yes, it does. But I mean, it was a complete game from NC State. I mean, their offense was very, very good today too. Very aggressive and hitting bombs. I mean, I still don't know if that Alex Sosa home run has landed yet.
Yeah, I let me see. Is that? Oh no, that's not the baseball. That's right here. I thought maybe that was the one that just landed here. My bad.
that's the
different baseball. So I guess, man, that'd be kind of funny if I had a baseball to return both to UNC and NC State. That'd be kind of wild, wouldn't it? But I mean, goodness gracious, Monty, what a time. I mean, that's why that was so funny, because it was my head just played that song. That's why I was a little late getting on. I was like, Big Rings by Drake fits the vibe right now, so we're just gonna clip it. Let's have some fun. So, and I have 2 more memes I'll be dropping this week that should be pretty fun.
What do we think about the call at first base?
What call at first base?
The Derek Smith call with his foot near the bag, on the bag, the call stood.
Monty, you want to know what I did for the last 2.5, 3 innings of the game? I didn't watch it because bad things were happening when I was watching.
So you wanted to do a live show without knowing what happened?
No, I saw what happened. It's called Twitter.
Grayson, my guy.
What the hell just happened?
The Wolfpack are going back to Omaha.
We're going to Omaha. Do you believe in destiny, Monty Taylor?
I believe in it. We knew it was going to happen. At the way they finished the season, we just knew, right? And I'm going to continue to pick against him because, by the way, I have continued to pick against him for about 2 months now, or basically since they started that really brutal streak, and they keep winning. I can't change it now because what if they lose when I change it? It'll be my fault.
Yeah, don't you dare.
I mean, you can't pick NC State to win. They're playing the mighty SEC.
Oh yeah, the bracket looks so weird. You're going to have 3 ACC teams on one side with Tennessee, and then 3 SEC teams on the other with NC State. You guys are going to be matched up. Is it going to be Florida first? Is that who they've got?
We have Kentucky first.
Kentucky first. Yeah. So, and I don't understand Kentucky at all. I don't
think many people do.
No, they just keep winning though. So
yeah,
it's hard to fight. But we did get a question what we thought about that call at first base. I know you're a little biased, Grayson, but Micah didn't see it. So what were your thoughts on that call?
No, I am biased, but I think they got it right. I think there was a very split second where he had both ball and the very corner of the bag. It was extremely close. If I were a Georgia fan, I'd probably be a little bit upset, but I do think that they got it right. And especially that the initial call was out. They got it right the first time. So definitely, there wasn't enough evidence to overturn it. And I mean, they got it right. I think he had ball and bag. Very tense moment. I mean, looking at it live, I thought he had like the top of the bag. They even said it on the broadcast. And then when they went back to the replay, I saw him doing the foot dance. I was like, oh God, he missed it. Then they went back to the slow-mo and I'm screaming and jumping up and down in front of my TV. He had the corner. So thank God he did have the corner, but yeah, he got it right.
For a play that you deem so big, there's not a single post I can find about it on Twitter, Monty. So before you get all grumpy at me for not paying attention about it, I'm every keyword possible.
I'm grumpy at you for not watching the last 3 innings.
Grayson, if I told you that the last thing that I saw before I walked away from my TV was the bases loaded for Charlie Condon, and then good things happened after I walked
You didn't
away.
trust Jacob
Okay.
Dude.
Be upset with me
No.
that I didn't go
Don't
back
try
to
and
watch
make
the
this.
rest of
You
it?
didn't trust the dude. You did not trust
I-
the dude.
No,
Micah,
I
I will
walked away
also
before they
ask
went
you-
to the dude. That's the point.
I will also ask you, you are no longer allowed to watch any more NC State baseball the rest of this season.
That's not fair because I've watched NC State win a lot of games too.
You're going to be in Omaha. I politely ask you to just look at a wall for 9 innings when we're on the field.
Just sit there and listen to it.
But, dude, okay. So, actually, I had a tweet about this on my Locked on Wolfpack page. We have to sit down and talk about what Jacob Duden did tonight. Charlie Condon, with the bases loaded and 1 out, sits the man down, throws him a chair on 4 pitches, dominates him with this slider. I knew Duden had a hammer slider. He's had it all season long, and it seems to just get better and better and better. But
It was as good as I've seen it tonight.
dude, like, to just annihilate the top hitter in the country in a moment like that on the road as a freshman,
19
you can't make
years
stuff
old.
like that up.
19 years old against the top hitter in the country.
Yeah,
In a winner
I mean-
go home situation, bases loaded. I was expecting not that. I was expecting him to. I trusted him, but I didn't expect him to make Condon
Right.
look overmatched.
Yeah, no, I have full faith, but I was looking at like a 8, 9, 10 pitch at bat, and whatever happens after that, who knows? But to sit him down on 4 pitches, relatively non-competitive, is absurd. It's absurd.
The slider looked major league ready tonight
Yes,
as a freshman.
and Derek
And
Smith
it doesn't always look that night. It doesn't
Yeah.
always look quite that good. It's always pretty good, but it doesn't look quite that good. And then Derek Smith's slider was really good. So somebody tweeted out, I think it was Connor O'Neill, who he's a beat writer for Duke and Wake Forest. He said, "Who knew that Georgia's kryptonite was just sliders?" And I had to respond to be like, to be fair, those are elite sliders.
Yeah, that seriously, they are. Like the spin rate and the axis tilt on Derek Smith's slider in particular, that's an MLB level pitch already. Like it is an absolute hammer, and it's damn near unhittable. So he and Duden kind of in the same breath. They have a little bit of location issues with the slider at times. You kind of saw that with Duden as he tapered off, and then even Smith had some fatigue there coming down to the wire. You could tell the velo on the fastball was going down as well. But the two of them, man, just gutting it out. Unbelievable performances to take us back to Omaha.
And it overshadows what Logan Whitaker was able to do for four plus innings.
So another tweet I had today, and I'm going to try not to cry. I'm a very emotional guy, but this type of stuff, man, it's baseball's poetry. We all know this, but
I know where you're going. Great
for Logan Whitaker to be one of 7 guys that remained from that 2021 Omaha team, and he was the only one of those 7 that did not participate at all due to injury in that 2021 year. To get the ball in game 3 in a super regional to send us back to Omaha is beyond poetic. And you look at Whitaker and how much he's been through, 3 years of working back from injury, finally gets healthy to go in 2022. Fast forward here to 2024, missed a month and a half of play due to some unknown illness.
It was something that caused him to lose a ton of weight. It was an actual illness, not like an injury.
Yes. Loses 30 pounds for reasons completely unknown, comes back right before the postseason starts. You stick him into Super Regional Game 3, and I won't exactly call it like the game of his life, but he gave you everything that we needed to get from him in that moment. You're gonna have to take it back because I can feel it.
We're gonna talk about this. I don't know who you pick as a player of the game because so many guys come up big. Pennington with the monster home run to tie it. You had Serrano, who I think went 3 for 4 and also had a huge catch, a home run of his own.
Yeah, I'm going Eli Serrano there. That's my play. I mean, that home run robbery was the difference.
Alec Makarevich with his there's just so many moments in this game where in the broadcast.
Sorry, Ashley.
The broadcasters did such a great job mentioning that every time Georgia got something, NC State responded. There was no shutdown inning.
Yeah, no, it's huge. I mean, you mentioned Pennington early on. Serrano had that massive bomb right out of the commercial break. Literally didn't even get to see him throw the pitch, and it's going over the fence. And Makarevich, man, what else can you say about this guy coming over from ECU and having the season of his life here in the red and white. Hits an absolute mammoth bomb to put us back up by 4. Absolutely crushes the yeah. Sorry, Pirate fans. You knew it was going to happen this way.
That being said, I know the majority of Pirate fans were rooting for him to go to Omaha.
Yeah.
So it probably does hurt a little bit at the same time. It's one of their own that, was there and, so that's good to know.
You talk about baseball being poetic. What is more poetic than a guy in his final year putting on a career season and then ultimately basically sinks the dagger here into
His
Georgia?
251st game, I believe, today.
Yeah. Unreal.
The most in D1. Yeah, that's why I was laughing. I saw somebody had tweeted something about like, I'm ready to get hurt, like carried away too much about 18 to 22-year-olds. And I was like, somebody was like, well, the starter's 24 and AMAC is 23. So,
yeah,
semantics. But, yeah, I mean, this was just a game and everybody showed up. And I still don't really understand it, how NC State has gotten better with the loss of Van Dam. They lost Whitaker for a while. They lost, obviously, Josh Hogue. The Souls was out a while. Sosa was out with, he had an injury, and then didn't he have mono?
He had mono and then the flu back-to-back.
That's right. He had 2 issues. Yeah, I was like, for so many non-sports related issues, illnesses is insane. And so they're back, and I mean, again, I did laugh. I think I don't want to give Barstool NC State too much credit, but they had a pretty funny tweet that they said Sosa's ball domed one of the frat kids.
I saw that.
Which I was like, that is around where they were sitting. That thing was crushed.
Yeah, I would love to ask them all how much they love Sosa tonight.
Yeah. I mean, what a game from top to bottom. The bottom of the order was fantastic early on too.
Yeah.
Wait, why are you giving Brandon Butterworth credit, Monty? Why were you giving him credit?
They had a funny tweet that I liked.
The Love Sosa one?
No, the one where they domed. They said he domed one of the frat boys in the head with the home run.
Just wait till I put my meme out about the. Remember the Georgia player that did the pissing celebration against Georgia Tech? Insert the College World Series logo to that one, baby.
There you go.
It's on Twitter in about 30 seconds. But
bark, 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 bark.
Yeah.
All those people that woofed at me and told me to go F myself. Well, I'll enjoy Omaha for you, boys.
That's interesting. Is that RIP to all the Golden Spikes finalists? And remember, Jack Caglione was not.
Yeah, there's Nick. What's up, Nick?
Here's Nick.
What's up, Grayson?
Hey, Nick. Who's that coming down the tracks?
Oh, you guys already started?
Oh, we started a while ago, buddy.
Bro, what the?
I told you I was going live.
I guess you never responded. Like, give me 20 minutes to drive home.
Oh yeah, I saw
a live show.
I wasn't waiting. Yeah, I said you can jump on when you get here.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm here. Hello. Yeah, go Pack.
I like that. Who's with the right who's. There we go. I like the spelling there.
You know what's coming. You know what's coming, Grayson and Nick, right? I've suffered a full year of pain of NC State taking it to Virginia, and we're paired on the other side of the bracket. And Virginia's coming
Micah,
for revenge, boys. They're coming.
All the pain.
He has the audacity to bring up
that unsportsmanlike conduct in the fall,
Oh,
the missed free throws at the end of the game in the ACC tournament.
I'll give you that.
All that's coming back, baby. It's coming.
Micah's the moment Virginia steps on the field on Friday, he's gonna send me a text that says
It's over.
It's over. UVA's lost. I'm like,
Well,
what?
hey, I'll
That
tell
was
you
a
what.
ceremonial first pitch.
I'm #1 UVA fan on Friday. I'll tell you that much.
There you go. Yep, that's true. Yeah, they're facing the Knicks and UNC Tar Heels, right?
Yeah, Nick, what size shirt are you?
Let me have this, Monty.
Let me have this.
What'd you ask me, Micah?
What size shirt are you again?
Oh God, I know what you're referring to.
Grayson, for context, I don't know if you saw my video, but I have the third out ball from the Super Regional in Chapel Hill.
Yeah.
And one of the guys reached out kindly, like, "Hey, we'll give you a shirt or something." I mean, I don't need anything, so if they give me one, great. If they don't, they don't. I don't really need one. Right. But I was gonna get one for Nick as a joke because I know he would love to wear that Carolina, that diamond heel gear. But
you wouldn't dare, Nick.
I mean, how great is this to have Grayson on the pod finally? I know he's normally hard to get, but not after this win tonight.
Yeah, no, dude. Ever since the Final Four happened, it's been all go all the time. So I've missed being able to jump on here and actually talk college baseball. But what a night, man!
Oh yeah, you had to tonight, right? Like
Yeah.
this is the night. I mean,
Not missing this one.
Nick, what were your feelings about some of this game?
Man, that was nuts. Man, the timely hitting was really killing us for a sec there, man. I mean, we had like 11 guys left on base, 10 hits through 5 innings, and only 2 runs to show for it. Man, but the pitching was nails. Duden came in a big spot to strike out Charlie Condon. Unreal. Derek Smith, it got a little shaky there in the 9th, but man, the pitching was great. And then the homer showed up, and that was great. Serrano, his catch at center field was awesome. Man, the center field play in the ACC has been amazing.
I can't believe they had him playing first. I know they had a ton of outfielders last year, but I can't believe they had him playing first base last year with his athleticism. It seems like a waste to have him at first.
Yeah, he can go out there and get it.
Yeah, he's
he
very
cover
good.
Some ground, man. Yeah.
And I've been on. I finally got to make that Paddington Bear meme for Garrett Pennington. I've been on his train since the Duke, the hype train since Duke and NC State played at the DBAP in the fall, and he went like 5 for 8 with like 3 doubles. I was like, this guy's legit, and I was like, I know I'm investing way too much in a doubleheader fall ball game, but I'm in on Garrett Pennington. It turns out he proved me right.
You nailed that one.
Yeah, and he's been great, and I would never have guessed AMAC having the season he had.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest gets, I think, huge. The AMAC showing up tonight was unbelievable. Man, dude, seeing Avon's little talk at the end of the game, I mean, I was so happy watching that, man. Like, we still got 7 guys on the roster from 2021. And every single one of them deserved to have this moment and to be back and to prove like they're not done yet. Like, no, I'm going to be honest, guys. I felt like more bubbly, giddy, all that after they beat Arkansas in the Super Regionals. Right now, this still feels like unfinished business. Like, I don't want it to stop here, just beating Georgia and Athens. I mean, I think this team is just on fire right now. I think they can do it.
Well, and there's a big difference between 2021, right? That was the first time you guys been to Omaha in a long time. Arkansas was also the number 1 overall seed versus, so that almost seemed more impossible, I think, than beating Georgia. I mean, and there's that difference there. And then this team just has been so good over the last couple of months. It's unbelievable. I mean, they put it up on the graphic. They went on the road and beat Virginia. They went on the road and they beat Clemson. They went at home and they beat UNC. They swept Wake Forest. The only blip was the Duke game in the ACC tournament, and that turns out to be a good thing because the only team that got this far that advanced to the weekend in the ACC tournament was Florida State, right? So, I mean I guess UNC lost on Friday night. So yeah. So, yeah, I mean it's been a really good season. I just don't understand how, like, Derek Smith and Cooper Consiglio, I think, had rocky starts, and then all of a sudden they just became like completely different pitchers, and that's been a huge difference. And then Duden has been good all year round. Yeah, it's just been unbelievable. I'd love to get in the mind of the pitching coach with the adjustments he made with Derek Smith and Cooper Consiglio, because they have become unbelievably like nails.
Yeah, there was a stat that came from Alex G of Inside Pack Sports. I'm going to try and remember this all on the top of my head, but I think it was like since April 1st, Consiglio, Duden, Smith, and I'm missing one, Ryan Marone, they combined for, I think it was like X amount of innings, but it was like 63 strikeouts and like a 1.83 ERA. And
I saw like, that same stat.
That's like Clemson, UNC, UVA, Wake Forest, the Raleigh Regional, the ACC tournament, like that's mind-boggling numbers.
Yeah, and especially when you take into account what they were doing before April 1st, which wasn't the best. And that means there was a major midseason adjustment. And I just would love to get in someone's head, but That's great. But also, speaking of Ryan Marone, the job he did yesterday to save the entire bullpen.
Huge. And Micah had a fantastic.
Yeah,
tweet about
Mike,
this.
you guys
If
shot
NC
Mike
State
on
makes
that.
it to Omaha, you have Ryan Marone to thank. That is unbelievably true at this moment in time. Him eating up all of those outs in Saturday's game, that puts us in a position like we had today to advance to Omaha. So yeah, you hit the nail on the head with that one, Micah. We have a big thank you to Ryan Marone.
Yeah, I mean, and think about this. Marone is a freshman. Derek Smith's a sophomore.
Yep.
Duden's a freshman. Cooper Consiglio's a freshman. You got these arms coming back. I know that most of the rotation's probably gone, although Fritton might have to come back based on the year he's had. But, you know, the arms are a big reason why I ranked NC State in the top 25 preseason, and they didn't show up for a while, but here they are, and I'm feeling really good about it. I said, hey, Grayson, I don't know if you remember, but I said this was possible in our deep dive show.
You did. I remember.
I said, although I will say I didn't expect them to get this hot and get a hosting bid. I said they'd be a high 2 seed, but I knew they were going to get hot and end up in Omaha.
Putting it all in perspective, this same team was also swept by Georgia Tech and Louisville this year, and they're going to Omaha. That doesn't really ever happen.
No, but Grayson, remember, Georgia was 4-0 against Georgia, or 3-0, or whatever they say against Georgia Tech this year. So by rule, they were going to sweep NC State. That was what I was told.
Yeah, how'd that turn out?
That's what, I had a lot of respect for I enjoyed watching Georgia baseball this year, but the way that I was treated when I was in Athens, I'm so bitter about this Georgia program that
he was wearing Georgia Tech gear.
Yeah.
Well, that doesn't help your case. But I've only really heard good things from State fans that are down there.
Well, that's good. I'm glad they're getting a better treatment, but I was not treated the same way. Yeah. And the best part was it wasn't like I was like obnoxiously to hell with Georgia shirts or anything. I literally had a ACC polo with my credential on and a Georgia Tech hat. And the things that were said were unbelievable. Again, this is outside the ballpark, so it was more of the drunk frat bros, but it just kind of plus it's in the kindest way possible. That place wasn't even full when they played Georgia Tech. I don't know if you saw, they announced this sellout tonight. It looked like there was a decent amount of empty seats in that ballpark for a Monday night winner take all to Omaha. But anyway.
I will say I was a little bit surprised how often you could hear Wolfpack on the TV more than anything out of the Georgia fans. So you might.
Do we think that NC State's going to be the best traveled team in Omaha, or will Florida State have that number? Because Virginia and North Carolina will probably travel well, but we just know how NC State travels in all sports. Do we think that they might be the contingency in the?
It's going to be interesting to see. Florida State does travel really well.
That's why I was curious what you think.
I'd have to guess that Florida State will have the largest contingency. I'd also put money on them winning the Jello Shot Challenge, but I would think that NC State, because you have the whole revenge dynamic, and so many people are going to think about 21, and if they didn't go, they missed that opportunity, and now we're going back just 3 years later. So they're like, okay, this is now my shot. I have to go see them now. So you might get some of that. You also might get some people still reeling off of flying out to Phoenix for the Final Four.
I was just getting ready to say that, Grayson.
So they can't swing both in just what? 2 months.
Your poor fan base has had to experience so much success.
Hey man, we're never in this position to do this. We don't know what to do with our wallets right now.
Yeah. Grayson, you guys mentioned you got it back in just 3 years. I don't know what that's like because my team got back in 2 after 2021. So, no, this is fantastic. We've got 4 ACC, 4 SEC. Obviously, NC State's on the non-ACC side of the bracket. How do you feel about? Would you prefer to be with teams you've already faced and beaten? Because have you beaten all the? Well, you split with Florida State, so you haven't lost a series to any of the other three ACC teams. Would you rather be on the ACC side of the bracket or the bracket you're on?
To me, it doesn't really matter that much. With the way that we're playing right now, you could put really anyone in front of us. That includes Tennessee. Not saying we'd beat Tennessee, but I like our shot against anyone. With how hot we're playing, the way the bullpen can come in and shorten a game up to 5 innings. The offense can stay consistent enough. I'll take us against virtually anyone. I also like the dynamic of us being on the other side. So if we do make it back to that championship series, we got a 75% chance of seeing another ACC team on the other side for a full ACC final.
I would kill for a full ACC final, especially since the conference has only one national championship since 1958. Exactly. So if we can get a guaranteed title from two teams matching up, that would be fantastic.
We'll have to carry that flag for the ACC this week.
Yeah, because it'll be on you guys to cover the other side of the bracket.
Yeah.
So
after only going through two of them, two SEC teams.
Yep.
Yeah, keep feeding them to us, man.
Yeah, might as well.
Nick, what your thoughts? The same as Grayson's there? You'd prefer? It doesn't matter what side of the bracket you'd be on.
Yeah, I think at this time of the year it doesn't matter. I mean, if you play the ACC teams that you already played, they might figure some things out on you. But then again, ownage might be ownage, so I don't know. We'll see. If you look at our side of the bracket, A&M is, experienced one of the biggest choke jobs by Oregon I've ever seen in my life.
Well, and they had those two major injuries. Braden Montgomery's done. And they had another one yesterday as well. So that's got to be difficult to rebound from as well.
Right. If Oregon State, if the pitcher is just covering home, we're talking about another possible game 3 today. And then you have Florida, the team that quote unquote isn't supposed to be here is now here. They gave them everything. They gave everything they had against Clemson. So, I do fear A&M, but it's like, dude, this is the part of the time of the year where you got to just play who's in front of you.
Yeah. I just found a lot of times I'd rather lose to a non-ACC team for bragging purposes. So I always kind of preferred that. Like, I mean, imagine if you guys had to go up against UNC in the first round, would you, if you, and you
I think we had to do that back in 2013.
I think we did. Yeah. That was the Trey Turner play at the plate, right?
That was the ACC tournament. But no, we did see UNC again in Omaha. I think Rodon, I think he went like a complete game with like a ridiculous amount of strikeouts. And then we advanced up and played UCLA in the winner's bracket game. And Trey Turner came like 4 feet of basically sending us to the championship series. That not falls, but it gets caught. We lose. And then we have to play UNC in the elimination game. And I believe they sent us home. So, I mean, hey, if we end up seeing the Dirty Foot Club in Omaha again, I'd much rather it be for all the marbles than in the opening round.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I just,
Dirty
Foot
Club.
I've heard of that one before.
Yeah, I will not call them by name. They're the Dirty Foot Club.
That's great.
That's so good.
All right, Nick, who would be your player of the game? Grace, I don't think we quite got your player of the game.
I'm still thinking about it. Yeah, Nick, you go first.
Micah went with Serrano.
I'm going with Serrano. 3 for 4. Huge play at center field. Kind of just saved us the game right there. Home run, almost 2 homers, really.
Just the one out he had was just missed.
Yeah, he was a triple away from the cycle. He's my player of the game with Serrano.
Also, an underrated part, Serrano got that bunt down for
advanced third and second.
Sorry, I don't know if you guys saw this as much because it's probably more NC State based. There was a lot of people that had a problem with the decision to bunt there. I thought it was a great decision. We got 2 runs out.
I think people had a problem with it because, like, for a second I did too, and then hindsight 2020, everything worked out. But I think because he started off 2 for 2, people were hey, come on, we got the leadoff guy, and then we got all the power behind him.
I will say the way that they were leaving guys on base, especially in hindsight, it looked like a good decision because they score on the wild pitch, and then AMAC with the 2-out hit. Massive.
No, that's exactly right. Like, because of who you have behind Serrano, and yes, he was 2 for 2, and one of your hottest hitters, maybe don't take the bat out of his hands. But when you have Pennington and then AMAC behind him, let Serrano bunt because I'm going to trust those guys to get the job done. And pass ball, and then AMAC did single that run in. So yeah, it definitely worked out. But
and again, assuming that you assume that you've got the confidence in Serrano, who I don't know how many bunts he had on the year, but you also got to take that into account because not a lot of guys don't bunt a ton, so you don't necessarily want to put him in that situation. So that's got to play a factor. But he got it down. It was a perfect bunt. And then it worked perfectly. You got the 2 runs across, and that was, you never looked back after that. That was the lead.
Yeah, it's the little stuff. And there was another play, not insignificant, but obviously not as big as other stuff. I cannot remember who singled to left. It was either Luke Nixon or Matt Hevner. But Brandon Butterworth, he went first to third on a play.
Yeah,
the little
Nixon,
stuff like that. It goes unnoticed, but those are the plays that will win you a ball game. And Brandon Butterworth has done a lot of that in like the last month and a half, whether it's with the glove or at the plate. He's been so big in a lot of smaller ways for NC State. So I thought that should have gotten a lot more love than maybe it did.
Yeah, and don't run from second to third on a shallow sack fly to center field, right, Jacob Cozart?
Yeah, I don't know if that was on Hart, the third base coach, or if that was a Cozart decision, but I don't know.
It was like a horrible read on that ball. But even like when he was going back to second, he was just walking back to second.
The whole thing felt disconjointed from the jump.
I think that killed the momentum, any momentum that you guys could have gotten yesterday. But ultimately, it works out great today. Everything, again, Ryan Marone shoves yesterday to save the bullpen. Yes. Fresh bullpen today, but yet Logan Whitaker is able to go into the 5th. So because you saw a scenario where Duden could go 3, Consiglio could go 3 if you had to get it from him, and he didn't even end up being needed. He was warming up in the 9th, but Derek Smith got the job done, and the sliders were just killer for the Georgia hitters. And again, we talked about it, Nick, but that at bat with Condon, Duden coming in that moment. It's a 19-year-old kid in a do-or-die game, bases loaded, best college hitter on the planet, and with 36 home runs at the time, and he absolutely dominated them.
Yeah, I mean, Duden's a dude. Like, I don't know. Like, he's going to be a starter next year if he stays, which I'm hoping he will.
I don't know where this is coming from. Is this just because you guys have, like, PTSD?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Okay. You guys aren't hearing rumors of him leaving, right? Or is this?
No. There are no rumors.
This is just the Cannon Peebles, Tommy White situation.
No. There are no rumors. I can say this. Being in Raleigh last weekend, that freshman class right now is very, very tight. They are.
So why are you saying if he comes back?
Because it's PTSD. You hit the nail on the head, Monty. I don't know what to say.
This day and age, you really can't assume anyone's coming back.
You can't assume anybody.
No, I won't say too much more, but I've heard the opposite. Basically, I've heard he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so. I mean, again, it's a freshman that's chosen NC State for a reason, and I know obviously you had the same situation last 2 years, but I think that's an unusual situation. And with Peebles wanting to catch and Cozart sitting in front of him, that made a little bit more sense.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, this is an exciting time for NC State baseball, and if you can get him stretched out into a starter, you're looking at a potential first-round draft pick in a couple of years. I don't know what his situation is. Draft-eligible sophomore thing pisses me off, so I have no idea if he's going to be a draft-eligible sophomore or not, but we'll assume he's got another year beyond
Grayson, that. Yep. I remember Micah and I having you on before the season started. Mm-hmm. I remember you saying that it's not this year, it's next year, where these freshmen are going to come up and that next year's team is going to do a lot of damage.
Yep.
Like this year's going to be a step up. Like, did you ever see this coming with this Pac ball club?
I mean, I'm not going to act like LeBron James, but kind of. I mean, I believe what I said was they're not going to win the ACC in 24, but they will win it in 25. And I'm standing 10 toes down on that right now, because if you do bring back Duden and Smith and, younger guys like Alex Sosa, who I'm going to talk about in just a second, Luke Nixon, Serrano can return. You're going to have to do a little bit of work in the portal, but the young core that you have right now, electric, absolutely electric. You got to feel like you have one of the best pitching staffs in the ACC next year. Again, assuming you can return all these guys.
That's the thing you got to be excited about, not necessarily because you like we said before the season, NC State's going to hit.
Yeah.
So the fact that
Yeah.
you can potentially bring back all those arms is a much bigger deal.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And I think, Nick, you're definitely onto something with Duden becoming a starter. I've heard that as well. I think it makes a lot of sense. If you can start to stretch him out into 5 and 6 inning starts, how dangerous is NC State going to be next year?
And he's a first-round draft pick in 2026.
Yes, exactly. Just like that. Like you could have a real scenario where you have Duden go maybe even longer than 6 innings. He could give you like 7 innings, and then you could give a handoff to Derek Smith, and it's ball game right there. So it's scary hours in Raleigh, man. We're back in Omaha. Recruiting is good. I'm only assuming that recruiting is going to start heating up here pretty quick. We got an outfielder from Campbell last week who has a lot of promise. Dalen Thompson, I think is his name. Very high on him so far. So
yeah, there's a lot of good transfers already committed to ACC schools. So that's exciting. The recruiting thing we're gonna have to see, because I know some schools have some really good recruiting classes, but they're gonna lose guys to the draft.
Yeah.
For instance, UVA might lose as many as 7 recruits to the draft. That's how top heavy they have. A lot of it's a very unusual for Virginia to have that many. So it'll be interesting to see how that falls out. But so it's gonna be really fun to see where we're at in the fall.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be trying to do shows for the ACC on the portal and summer leagues, Team USA, stuff like that. But it's really exciting. But you wanted to talk about Alex Sosa.
Yeah, one more thing because I got to run here. Alex Sosa, and this is actually a perfect segue talk about the draft. So this is a kid, freshman catcher, played DH for most of the year, passed up over $1 million to come to NC State this season, and hits a mammoth home run in this game 3 against Georgia. But he was another guy, a lot like Whitaker, missed a lot of the season due to illness, could never really get right, and it's even harder when you're a freshman to just be thrust into ACC play after missing so much time.
And to deal with that failure for the first time as well.
Yeah, I think, what was the stat? It was like 1 for 37 or something.
Going into the Virginia series, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, it was getting, I felt bad for him. And then I think it was the Wake Forest series where he hits 2 nukes, I think, in that first game when we run ruled him. And ever since then, kid's been hot. He has been so hot. And I tweeted back in February, I think it was like the opening day, just spitting off hot takes. But I was like, I'm buying up all the Alex Sosa stock. And then I tweeted last week, I was like, too late. I now have all of it. I'm rich. Y'all can't have any because I bought it all. It feels really good right now. I think Alex Sosa is another one. Just like white hot future on this kid. So I can't wait to see how he continues to develop at NC State. Again, much like Tommy Tanks and Cannon Peebles, I hope they don't give him a nickname of any armament because we got to keep him in the red and white for some years to come.
It just reminded me that I think Jake was trying to come up with names in our deep dive. And I don't think he did any for Duden, so that's good. But if you got to hop off, Grayson, we appreciate you finally getting up here to join us. Hopefully we can have you again.
Man.
When we're in Omaha. But I know Mike is getting antsy because this is the longest I've heard him go without speaking.
I first of all, I appreciate you guys having me back on here. It's been way too long. I got to make more regular appearances on here, but what a night for NC State. Nick, I'm going to trust you to hold it down here while I jump off of here, but
I got you, buddy.
And just to be clear, Grayson is not a guest. He is part of the ACC team. I know it sounds like we've invited him on, but he's a guest. He has a standing invitation. As
it turns out, I've done all the behind-the-scenes stuff like the power rankings and the weekly picks, but I will be on here more regularly. I gotta figure out my time management, I guess.
It's been a wild year, but have a good night, Grayson. Enjoy. Hopefully you can get some sleep. I'm sure you're not ready for bed at all. So
no chance.
Enjoy your evening.
You too, fellas, man. Go Pack.
Pack.
All right, Micah. What have you been up to? You just tweeting? You tweeting away while we talk?
Yeah, my phone is buzzing, Micah. What are you doing, man?
Whoa. It's
too soon. Too soon. Too soon.
Oh, I'm sorry. I realized what I did. I'm sorry. Sorry, Georgia Tech.
Well, see, Monty, I didn't realize that NC State was the only team that made it to Omaha. The way these guys are acting, there's no other ACC teams there.
Not on that side of the bracket, and this was a special show. If you look at the title is ACC Central Special. NC State wins.
All right, Monty, I gotta ask the question. How are we feeling about at least getting one team in the title? Because the one side of the bracket where we have the numbers, the best team in the country is also on that side.
Tennessee is going to be tough. I think it's going to come from that left side. I feel more confident, obviously, just because of the numbers.
Mhm.
You know, it's nothing against NC State, but NC State's by themselves. So, you know, NC State has to figure out how to get past 3 teams, whereas 3 ACC teams have to figure out how to get past 1 team.
We need Jamie Arnold to shove so
Put
bad.
Tennessee in the losers bracket on Friday night, and I think we're in very good shape because I don't know if Tennessee has the pitching to come out of that losers bracket.
Yeah.
So.
I am so scared that we're not going to get what we want, and it's going to be the most painful. Like,
oh my gosh, it's been 30 minutes and he's already negative.
Someone tweeted it, and now it's just living rent free in my head. So,
Micah.
But
Micah, we're all celebrating and all happy, and Micah's like, "What if we don't?"
Okay, on a fun note, though, I mean, obviously, you guys aren't on your phones. You're good podcasters, but a Clemson fan made a hilarious meme. Have you seen like the one where it's the 5 soldiers, but the one guy's dressed like a clown?
I saw that.
Someone tweeted that with like all 5 ACC super regional teams, and then Clemson's the clown. And I just can't.
Did you see my video I sent? Did you see my video in the ACC chat?
No, I don't think so.
I wasn't going to tweet it, but I sent it. It's the everyone doing their part, and then Clemson at the end going, "I didn't do effing." And I sent it with 2 outs.
That, Monty.
I sent it out with 1 out with 1 out in the 9th. Like I didn't want to jinx it either.
Where?
Man, I do feel bad for Clemson, man. I really do. Like, I tweeted it from our account, Mike.
Why'd you leave Virginia off it, Monty?
Because there's only 3, and those were the first 3 I found. I was trying to do it really quick.
I kind of want to tweet that. That's hilarious.
All right, I'll tweet it right now.
I'm once again feeling like Clemson, like I want more Clemson baseball. Like I feel like exactly like last year, where they were so good. Like last year, they got on that hot stretch, made it to regionals, got to the regional final, and then once again, like last year, someone gets ejected. You know, it's just I feel like it's incomplete with Clemson.
Yeah, I just tweeted it. Yeah, it was just tough for them, and yeah.
I feel bad for my boy Cam. I mean, did you guys record last night? I don't even know. Did you guys go on?
We recorded today.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. That's right. Yes.
Yep. So yeah, we did like a super regional recap, except for this game tonight because we didn't have it.
Right. I just feel so bad. Like Cam had himself like one of the greatest games I've ever seen by individual player, and just to come up short like that is tough. And having the lead too, going into the bottom of the 13th is just brutal.
AJ's idea for me to do a video with the scene from Good Will Hunting where Matt Damon's crying about it, and it's Robin Williams consoling him, saying it's not your fault. That would absolutely be perfect to do with Cam Canarella for that GIF. I just didn't remember to do it until he mentioned it now, and it felt a little late to do it. But it's a pretty perfect meme there.
Yeah. Monty, how do you feel about not having? What if the final is no ACC teams? Like, do you think? How do you feel about that?
If the final does, if no ACC team makes the final,
yeah,
I'm devastated. But I'm not willing to think about that until it happens.
Got it.
I will allow myself to be crushed. Micah is guarding his feelings in case it happens.
I feel like that side of the bracket is just dangerously loaded. You know, I think you got the best 4 teams out of that side of the bracket. Like Florida State is on a different level. Tennessee has been number 1 for a while. Carolina has been quietly one of the better teams in the country. And then Virginia, I mean, just when we thought Virginia changed their identity and like maybe it won't work, they're back in Omaha again. Like I feel like that side of the bracket got the best teams, and it's going to be a huge showdown.
Here's an interesting question: if you're Florida State, do you actually stick with Carson Dorsey because of what Virginia did to Carson Dorsey when they faced him last time?
Well, I think it just depends on, I think that's a wait till we get there moment,
It's interesting because Carson Dorsey is on the Friday track already, and Jamie Arnold's on the Saturday, so that plays a factor as well.
Yeah.
They would have to reverse that to go with Arnold. It's just an interesting thing. I obviously they didn't face UNC during the season, so they don't have to worry about that. But Dorsey came in the ACC championship in relief of Arnold, and UVA hit like 4 straight home runs. So. Yep, it was Jamie Arnold, and then Carson Dorsey came in relief, and that was not a great decision. Now, again, Carson Dorsey is a completely different pitcher when he's starting versus relieving. He's obviously not comfortable relieving, but it's just an interesting situation in that regard. I think they have to go with Jamie Arnold. You have to go with your best pitcher against that offense of Tennessee. I don't think you can afford to go with Carson Dorsey, but I wonder if it's a discussion.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting on what they do. I think they just got to play it out and see what happens. I mean, obviously, I don't see Dorsey coming out of the pen at all anymore. So you got that going for you.
Yeah. Mike, I tweeted that if you wanted to retweet it.
No, I'm not going to support your slander of Clemson.
Are you effing kidding me? You told me to tweet it.
I was being sarcastic, Monty.
Are you kidding? Funny. I'll go delete it.
You can. It's funny.
Now
I just feel bad. I love Clemson. Unlike you.
You're the one that laughed and told me to do it. There was no sarcasm there. You're the worst.
Funny. It was funny.
I'm gonna make Omaha lose your credentials.
Thanks. Monty.
By the way, if I go, who am I bunking with?
Noah. Apparently, it's the CBC frat house.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah.
That's where me, Jake, who else is there? Micah will be there.
Isn't Alex there?
I don't think so. Not unless he's going
not Alex, Mark.
Mark's got his own spot. Pat's got his own spot.
Oh, okay.
So
that's not as bad as I thought. Then I thought it was like 12 people in there.
Yeah.
But
there's a dog, I think. Hey. Sorry. Speaking of dogs. All right. So, I mean, wrapping this up, you guys got anything more you want to talk about?
Power rank the 4 seeds right now from the ACC. 4 teams, not 4 seeds. 4 teams.
Ooh, 1A.
From odds to win the title, not just like pure like best team odds to win. Like you had to say who you feel most confident in winning the title to least confident.
Florida State, UNC, UVA.
Hold on, we go. Which order are you going here? You going 4-1? You going 1-4?
1-4. Okay. Florida State number 1, number 2, UNC number 3, UVA number 4, NC State.
Oh.
I'm leaning your way, Monty. I don't know if I want to flip State and Virginia 3 and 4. I don't know if I want to do that or not because State's got to go up against all those SEC teams, and it's just different, Like it's kind of weird. Who do you think is like best to win best fitting to win the title when one team is like on the other side of the bracket?
Yeah,
facing completely. Like if this was like ACC on this side, SEC on the other side, then I think it's a different conversation that we're having. But it's kind of different when State's on that side. What do you think, Micah?
4?
What's that?
Did you give me your 4?
He said he agreed with me, and then he talked about whether he'd flip NC State and Virginia.
Well, I have some bad news for you. Mine is NC State 1, UNC 2, Virginia 3, Florida State 4.
Why? Why? Give us your reasons.
Didn't we just talk about Florida State having a chance to win the national, being in a really
all
good?
All 4 have a chance to win the national title, but Monty, if Florida State loses one game, I don't think they can come out of the losers bracket. They don't go 2-0. Who's pitching after Dorsey and Arnold?
Somebody will have to step up. John Abraham, baby.
I love John Abraham, but I mean, I guess heroes are born all the time, but in Omaha. But I think NC State has the most dangerous lineup mixed with bullpen and a solid core of starting pitching of the 4 ACC teams. Every other
I
team
have to
has
go against NC State just because I have. I'm not going to be the person that.
No, that's fair. Plus, again, not that I don't think that. I mean, all 8 of these teams are capable of winning the national title, but A&M without Montgomery is not the A&M that looked like what I would say is the best team in the country at points. Kentucky it's their first time, and we see when teams go to Omaha for the first time, they struggle. So it's the first time for Kentucky and Omaha. It'll be interesting to see what.
I said unless they're coastal. I was just being funny.
Yeah, but we'll see what Kentucky has to bring to the table, and Florida's been playing really, really good baseball. So obviously they're like, I think I'd have Florida as my favorite to come out of that bracket if it's not NC State. But at the same time, there's a reason why they're only one game above 500 at the end of the regular season. So, I mean, I like their chances. Plus, again, I mean, I think they're on a heater, just like them and Florida are both on heaters. And talent with NC State is there. So, and again, I think there is a factor of the 2021, like, we were robbed, let's go get one. So
I think if State were to make the final, and odds on right now that one of those teams is, 75% chance going to be a team that they've already seen in the ACC, they have not lost to. So, and I would argue that this State team right now is better than those State teams that played that Florida State team, that Carolina team, that Virginia team. They just look more consistent.
I'll say, though, that doesn't always matter. Virginia was much better when they faced UNC when they took 2 of 3 of UNC in the ACC tournament last year. So you never know with the damn and again, the same thing could be true. Like, I have feelings with Virginia and UNC on Friday, like last year, when Virginia is much better now than when they even took 2 of 3 from UNC earlier. But it's that the familiarity. Who knows how it's going to go?
It's very interesting. Both sides of this bracket, man. I mean, if we were an SEC podcast, it's also interesting on the other end where you have the number 1 overall team, by themselves, not seeing the possible SEC teams that you've already seen, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy how this final 8 in Omaha ended up.
Yeah. Well, let's wrap this up. I'm good to go. Micah made me tweet that. Now nobody's retweeting it because they hate me. So thanks for that, Micah. I don't really have any final thoughts. I'm excited to go to Omaha, see these teams. Micah, you got any final thoughts?
No. Way to go, NC State.
Go Pack, right, Nick?
Man, I'm just really happy for them. This program deserves it. They deserve to get back. Again, like I said, the 7 guys that were on that roster 3 years ago have a chance to take what's theirs. Very happy for Sam. Very happy for Logan. Very happy for Noah Souls and Avent. I mean, they talked about him riding off into the sunset. I mean, if it happens,
that was really funny. It seemed like they were trying to push him out the door.
Yeah, it really did. I heard 0 rumors at all this season that this could be Avent's last year. All of a sudden, in this game alone, I'm hearing every rumor about it, and he's speaking on it. It's what the hell? Where is this all coming from? But
yeah, that was weird. It seemed like they were like, "Hey, you're leaving now, right? You're done."
Yeah.
All right,
but no, very happy for those guys. And I'm going to try my best to get to Omaha and be with you guys. I got to figure out some things with work and flights and all that stuff, but I'm going to try my very best to get out there.
That's awesome.
I told you, Nick, that you'd be going out there with NC State when we were in Omaha together last year, but you didn't want to listen to me, and now you're going to wait till the last minute again, like normal.
So, yeah,
Micah, you didn't have your tickets booked until you got credentialed. Don't play this game with me.
Well, no, I actually had the hotel booked, but I'm in a wedding on this weekend, so I was waiting to see if it was worth going out there because I'm going to miss the first couple days. Thank you very much.
When are you going? I actually don't know that. We'll talk offline. We'll talk offline.
We'll hopefully do another show maybe Thursday night. I will be driving Wednesday night, so if you guys want to do a show without me, that's also a possibility. But we'll be doing a preview show. I'm hoping to get to Omaha for Media Day on Thursday. I've got to be there at 8 a.m., so we'll see if I can make that happen, because Virginia, Florida State, and UNC are going to have the early practices and interviews. So hopefully we'll have some great content for you. I'll be exhausted, but yeah, it's going to be great. So we'll see you guys next time.